Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tracy Hanton. I'm the Assistant Director of Career Services at Purdue University, Fort Wayne. I've been in this role since November 2019. I am new to Indiana. I am a Philadelphia native. I have about 14 years experience in career services. I am also a certified professional resume writer. My hashtag is hashtag I love my job, hashtag I love my career, because I get to do what I love to do. And that's help people figure it out. Okay. And so today my presentation is on growth mindset. So I like quotes, and DeWeck had this one, and it says, "It's not how good you are, it's how good you want to be." So keep that thought in mind. When we think about a growth mindset, we think about being able to take all of our basic abilities and allow them to actually to grow. So sometimes you hear a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm never going to be able to do this particular thing," or "I'm not good at that." Well, DeWeck, she decided, she felt that through dedication and hard work, that your brains and your talent are really just the starting point, and any of those things can be actually improved upon. They can be moved, and you can actually learn. And so that's what she really spent a lot of her research on. So if the conversation is about a growth mindset, of course, what would be the antithesis of the growth mindset? And that, of course, is going to be a fixed mindset. So people that are in a fixed mindset, they pretty much believe that you either are something or you aren't. You're either able to be able to do something, you're good at something. They kind of believe that you're usually just born that way. And people in a growth mindset, they normally think about being good at almost anything and really having that option to be able to learn and how to actually get better at doing something. So I just want you to take a moment or two and just kind of think about those two areas of mindset and think about which one do you have and which one do you kind of operate in most of the time. And of course, which mindset do you think is the most common, and why do you think it is the most common? So most people actually operate from a fixed mindset. They might not always operate from this mindset, but in general, this is the mindset that they have, because most of us believe that we're born to play basketball. We're born to dance. We just have those innate things in us. And those that don't, they're probably never going to be good at it. And so, with that fixed mindset is going to actually limit you in how you see your career potential. It's going to limit you in how you see the things that you are able to do, and it's going to limit you in all of those particular areas. So, what we want to really do is we really want to get ourselves to a space where we're thinking about, how do I continuously grow? And so, what does that look like for me? And so, that's what we want to normally be thinking about. So we're going to go through just a couple of examples of what a growth mindset looks like and what a fixed mindset looks like. And I'm sure as we're going through this, you're going to be able to see some areas in where you may have realized that you had a fixed mindset, and that fixed mindset really became a hindrance to you. So between A and B, you believe she's a natural born singer or I'm just no good at dancing. B, you believe anyone can be good at anything and skill comes only from practice. So this is pretty simple. We can figure out that A is the fixed mindset and B is the growth for this one. The next one, your flaws are just to-do lists of things to improve. You want to hide your flaws so you're not judged or labeled a failure.
And how do you get them to spread apart?
So A, of course, is a growth mindset.
I
The
know
next
it doesn't
one
even
Sometimes it just
is
doesn't work.
look
I know it
inside.
never works on my
Can somebody mute
iPad.
themselves? So the next one is you look inside yourself to find your true passion and purpose as if this is a hidden and inherent thing. Or B, you commit to mastering valuable skills regardless of mood, knowing passion and purpose come from doing great work, which comes from expertise and experience. So A or B, which one is the growth mindset? So B is the growth mindset. All right. So that's just some ideas to kind of get you to think about how you actually see yourself in terms of whether you tend to operate in a fixed mindset or whether you tend to operate mostly in a growth mindset. And so this is just the kind of example that the WEC actually uses to kind of show the growth of the actual brain, because most of us know that the brain is actually a muscle and all muscles grow. And so we need to be thinking about our opportunities and our ways to be able to take our mindset and actually grow. So I hope that you had a little bit of an opportunity to think about a time that you had a fixed mindset and it was a hindrance to you. And then also think about a time that you really spent some time adopting more of a growth mindset. One of the things for me that actually comes to mind when I think about a fixed mindset is I actually think about when I was in the seventh grade. And when I was in the seventh grade, I was really good at math. And I loved math. I enjoyed math. And it was really great to be able to go in and go to math class and learn the problems and actually put these problems on the board and, for the most part, get them right. Somehow I ended up with this idea that I wasn't good in math by the time I had gotten to high school. And as I got older and I had to go back and I had to think about, when did I actually have that mindset that I wasn't good in math? What happened that came about that kind of constructed that for me? And what came to mind is I remember in eighth grade that I got switched to a different math class and they sent me to Mr. Halstead's class. And Mr. Halstead was a former military vet. He was very stern in his class. And when we would do our levels test, if you got one thing wrong on the levels test, he would make you spend weeks and weeks reviewing those two problems that you got wrong before he would allow you to go to the next level in math. Subsequently, he would give you extra problems along that line to actually master it. And it seemed like I never was able to master it. And I stayed on level 19 the whole eighth grade year. And that instance, that's what prompted me to believe that I couldn't do math really well. Fast forward, I am teaching GED, and I have to teach the math portion to 6 students that have already come in with the fixed mindset that they're not good at math and they're never going to be good at math, and they're going to continuously keep failing this particular area. I had to teach them math, and I had to help them to see their mindset a little bit differently. Had I not done some work on myself, I probably would not have been able to do that. Fast forward, each of them actually passed all of their math GED. From the person who felt that they was not good at math and was never going to be good at math. Had I continued to allow my mindset to stay in that manner, I would have hindered myself from being able to help my students, and I would have hindered myself from being able to do some accounting functions that I do in my entrepreneurial pursuits. So I give you that example just to help you to think about what is the catalyst that made me decide that I'm not good at something, that I'm never going to be good at something. And then how can you take that mindset and how can you begin to start thinking of it differently and thinking, what are some things that I can do? How can I start to look at this in a different way? So at the end of the presentation, I am going to ask for 1 or 2 persons to kind of just share something about their fixed mindset, because again, we all have it. We all have it at some point in time. And then what are some things that they think they can do to kind of look at that mindset just a little bit differently? So what are some steps to growing your mindset? So on this chart, I just have about 10. But the truth is there are a lot of different things that you can do to grow your mindset. So for me, it was figuring out what was the point that I decided that I had this mindset, or that I decided that I couldn't do math. And I had to go back in my memory bank to 8th grade, and I had to go back to Mr. Halstead. And when I went back to that memory, and then I was able to kind of place it, then I was able to figure out, oh, because he kept holding me back and kept deciding not to push me forward, and because of his actual technique and the way that he taught, that wasn't a healthy way for me to learn. And so because of that, it caused that mental block. And so there are going to always be things that might cause mental block. But one of the things that you can definitely do when you're thinking about growing your mindset is to realize that you are an imperfect person. I don't know how many are on the line that are perfectionists, but my mother was a perfectionist. And so it's hard when you live with somebody that's a perfectionist, because if it's the slightest bit off, then it's just not right at all. So you don't end up with that leeway. All right. View challenges as opportunities. I was presenting earlier and they said to talk about the challenges. And one of the things that I said is, I don't like to talk from a deficit mindset anymore. And so I don't call them challenges. I really do call them opportunities. So you know how we talk about the glass is half full? So it's that same thing. So is the glass half full or is the glass half empty? So half empty is that deficit mindset, and half full is that positive kind of mindset So being able to look at those particular things and be able to, instead of saying, oh my goodness, this is going to be a challenge, this is hard, what is it that I'm going to learn from this? What is it that I'm going to gain? Try some different learning tactics. Everybody has a learning ability. Everybody has a preferred learning style. Some people are very tactile. Some people need to learn by actually doing. Some people learn just by listening. Some people learn better just by looking at the directions and being able to kind of go and have that kind of freedom with that. So you want to be able to figure out for this particular area what's going to be the best thing for me. So sometimes there are tasks that I have to do that I actually learn by being repetitive and just doing one step at a time and just kind of keep repeating that particular step and then getting good at that one step before I actually move to the next step. So some people learn that way when it comes to things like dancing, playing an instrument, things of that nature. So you have to figure out for which area, which is going to be better for you to actually kind of learn that way. Replacing the word failing with the word learning. Valuing the process over the end result. How many of you, just kind of like by a show of hands, are into the process that gets you to the end result, or you don't care what the process is as long as you get to the end result? So if the end result is to have $50, you don't care what you have to do to get the $50 as long as the end result is the $50. Some people are about the process. And so you have to figure out where it is that you're at. And sometimes it's going to need to be looking at the process and making sure that you have the process down pat. Since COVID-19, I've been doing online exercise classes. And so one of the things that my trainer always says to me is she says, don't try to do 10, 15, or 20 repetitions. Just get the process together. So just get the form together. And so that's what she's telling me to do. It's not whether you can do 15 sit-ups at the end. It's that you have the right form or the right process. And you might only end up doing 5, but at least if you did 5, you're going to do 5 really good ones. And so sometimes it's not going to just be that end result. It's going to be the process that you actually utilize to kind of get to that end result. Cultivate a sense of purpose. How many of you, when you think about the things that you want to do, you think about it in terms of purpose and passion and just really being able to enjoy or like what it is that you're actually doing? So you heard me earlier, you heard me say that my hashtag is hashtag I love my job, hashtag I love my career, because I get to do what I love to do every day, and that's help people figure it out. And so that is kind of my sense of purpose when I'm doing my job, which doesn't seem like me doing a job because it's just me kind of operating so much in my purpose. Celebrate growth with others. This is important because the more we can celebrate with other people, the more other people are going to celebrate with us when we have our victories, and celebrate the small victories. It doesn't have to be something big all the time. It can be, you know what? The other day, this is my small victory. The other day, I was struggling to do 15 sit-ups. I can now do 15 sit-ups. Now, somebody else might say, it's just 15. But I have been struggling the past week and a half to be able to consistently get up and do 5. So now I'm at 15. So again, that's that celebrating celebrating my small victory, but sharing it with people, and they not say it's just 15. My group said, "Yay, great Trey, keep moving. You got it. Next week you'll be at 20." Okay, and so being able to celebrate those things, that's going to help your mind to grow because it's going to help you to see outside of yourself, and it's going to help you to start looking at things just kind of in that different kind of manner. So, and again, at the end, it's emphasizing growth over speed. You don't have to be able to do it the fastest. You just have to be able to get it. You just have to be able to do it at the end of the day. I'm probably usually a person that's more about speed and just, okay, let's get it done, let's get it together. But it doesn't matter if you do it fast and the process or the form is all wrong, because then you haven't really grown with that particular thing. And so that's what you want to be thinking about. You want to be thinking about, how is it that I get this opportunity to actually grow and grow my mindset, learn a new skill, and become proficient at it? And that's where you want to start thinking at. And again, you don't have to take large things. You can take small things. I am technology challenged. And so don't laugh at me, Avery. I'm technology challenged. And so being during COVID-19, having to do everything, either Zoom, WebEx, Microsoft Teams, go-to meetings, some technology I hadn't even touched at all. I've had to literally make a decision and be very conscious that I was going to effectively learn how to use each of the pieces of technology. I had to use Camtasia to make a video to go on YouTube. It took me 40 takes to make this video. The video was less than 2 minutes. I knew the material. I just had trouble operating all of the pieces of technology that went with it. The camera wasn't right, this wasn't here, all of those pieces. And I had to literally pull myself out of the I'm technology deficient, and in a negative sense. And I really had to say, you know what, I'm going to learn this. I'm going to take my time learning it. And I might not be as good as the program coordinator. But if you say, Tracy, I need you to do a video, I don't go into a panic about having to do that video. I can now actually go and do the video. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So what are, for those that kind of know that they have operated in a fixed type of mindset, what's the one thing that you would like to see grow for you? And what are at least 3 things that you're going to do to kind of help propel yourself to be more in that growth mindset?
Sure, I can say something. So I've been looking at a graduate program at Yale, and it's just kind of been intimidating for me because it's Yale. But I know that it's something that I'm very passionate in and a field that I have already worked experience in. Um, but I think for me, like of those 10 steps that you kind of outlined, um, one of the biggest ones for me is I need to stop seeking approval of other people and just seek approval of myself and know that I can do it. and I'm not supposed to be like at that skill level yet because I'm just not, because that then I wouldn't be going for more education. That's the whole purpose. Um, I have to. I mean, I do need to view this as a challenge and as an opportunity in and of itself, because I think it's just a little bit intimidating. And I just need to acknowledge where I can grow more. And I think that sometimes that's a little frightening, but unless we actually see that like face to face, there's no way for us to acknowledge that and move past that.
Okay, so I'm going to challenge you a little bit more. So, when would you like to start this graduate program at Yale?
Uh, so the applications would be in December and then January, so coming up pretty soon. But then
Okay,
it would be in the fall of 2021.
okay. So, what I want you to do, and you don't have to do it now, but you get a calendar, and I want you to start setting some goal dates, because you've probably heard over the years, when you write something down, that's how you start the plan. That's the plan. So, a goal date to go back and review the website, a goal date to finish your application, or goal date if you have to take any tests, you have to take the GRE or anything, a goal date for your recommendations, and just started getting those. And then you're going to start seeing that you're checking things off because you're getting things done. And then when it's time to do the submit, everything's together. You've already checked off the small victories, and now you can go and just really go ahead and set that out.
Thank you.
Quite welcome. Anybody else?
I think I have a similar problem, more kind of about even knowing kind of like, oh, I did, and actually being able to acknowledge how significant it is and how interesting it could be to potential employers. And so I think being able to recognize, because no one's like, I don't know, I don't expect people to like be like, this is what you should do, but being able to kind of the things that I have accomplished is
So
something for me.
Yeah, so you kind of went in and out, and so I missed some of the pieces. So could you kind of go
Oh,
back?
sorry about that.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, I guess the main point for me is being able to understand how significant what I have done is to what I want to do. Did that come
Okay.
through?
I I have a real simple solution for that. Everything that you've done in your life is significant on some level. That is its easiest form. The difficulty is figuring out when you need to bring that skill, that activity to the forefront. That's what it is. Because everything that you've done is significant. Even if it's not significant to me, it's significant to you because it has helped build something in you. So, what you want to be able to do is take that thing, whatever it is, and be able to make the connection for what it is that you want to do. And sometimes you need to sit with somebody that can help you figure that out.
Okay.
Sometimes it's real easy, and then other times it's not so easy. So having somebody else to kind of bounce that off is a great thing. What school are you at? Are you still
I'm
in
a
school?
rising senior at DePaul. Yes.
So I would go to my career services center and I would make an appointment. And I would say, I'm trying to figure out, do these three things, how do I make these three things match where it is that I'm trying to go. So let me ask you this question. What's your major and what is it that you want to do?
I'm a
Well,
major in biochemistry. Oh, sorry.
no, I actually, just in the interest of time, we're at the end of this session.
Okay, no
But
problem.
Tracy, I completely agree with the line of advice and questioning. She's absolutely right, Mary Catherine. and maybe, even if you guys want to continue your conversation, Tracy, do you have contact information that you mind sharing with everyone, or?
Yeah, I'm going to put my email in the chat.
Okay, fantastic.